Welcome to Lunch and Learn, a 1 hour session where I am offering business owners in my community just a 1 hour of my time every Thursday to support each and every one of you on obstacles that might be coming up around sales and marketing. When I say sales and marketing, very much driven around social media. Not necessarily it has to be social media, but my strength and expertise is around social media. So what I'm going to take you through today is very much a simple planning process when you are considering doing a marketing campaign. So it's all about creating a marketing plan for whatever it is that your services might be, very much around how do you execute this plan and generate business, because let's face it, we're all in business to make money. In return, we provide an exceptional service to our clients or customers, whatever you want to call it. All right, beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to share my screen with you so you can see the presentation. Are you able to see the presentation? Let's see. Let me know if you can actually see the presentation, just because I want to make sure I'm not talking away and yeah, none of you, and you're actually not able to hear it. So just if you can let me know, that would be fantastic. Are we good? Are we good? Can you, let's see. Okay. Yep. Okay. All right. So let's get started. So I'm assuming you can actually see the presentation and we are good to go. All right. So Lunch and Learn, the theme of today is Lunch and Learn, a 1 hour presentation on creating a marketing plan. Now, both of you have somewhat got a little bit of insight around what it is that I do, and it is very much sales and marketing driven for small businesses and using social media, because as I said before, social media is my forte. I know it really well, and when I talk about, I can hear someone. Who is that I can hear, which is fantastic.
Oh, it's me. It's Tina. Sorry, Samantha, for interrupting.
No, that's all right. Yay, I've got somebody on the microphone. I was just telling, I've got Ingrid on the call. So, Carolyn, who is new to the virtual community. And it's good because the two of them don't have a microphone, so it's good to have you on the call that has a microphone, because I don't feel like I'm talking to nobody.
Oh, that's all right. That's good. Well, I might have to mute it because Maddie's on my lap, so she might interrupt you.
No, that's all right. Hi, Maddie. All good. All right, so we've just gotten started, Tina, and we're just going to go through the process. So it is all around creating a marketing plan. And
Yep.
Can you see the actual presentation, Tina?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. All right. So over the next hour, we're going to look at creating a marketing plan, design, implement, and execute. So the designing phase, I'm going to take you through what I do for every single campaign. Every single time, no matter how many times I've done it, I actually go through the design, implement, and execute step-by-step process. None of it sort of is just thrown out there. It is very much a design, implement, and executed. And then at the end, probably at around the 45-minute, 50-minute mark, I'll stop and take questions. Ingrid and Carolyn, that's on the call, either text me. Like, I've actually got my phone right here on silent, so you can either text me or you can put comments in chat. Tina, you can just unmute yourself and ask me questions as we go along, and I'm happy to stop along the presentation. There's not a lot of screens, to be quite honest. There's, I think, only 3 screens that I'm going to go through. It's really to get you doing stuff in this hour. You know, if you think of something, then start taking notes and start mapping it out. And what I'm suggesting to all 3 of you on the call, there were 7 registered, so I'm assuming some of them just wanted the recording. The call is being recorded, and I will be sharing the call with the people that registered, and they're all people of the Business Talk Show. So this session wasn't done to anybody else other than the community in there. So whoever this gets shared to is somebody in the actual group. So all good. All right, so let's get started. So creating a marketing plan and a campaign around it. So I'm a big believer in starting with the end goal. Now, depending on what sort of mentors you have, training workshops that you've been to, events that you've gone to, speakers you've seen, every, I suppose, marketing strategist, consultant, mentor has a different take. And I think it's really about the individual finding what works for them. So this is my take on it. You're more than welcome to sort of, I guess, compare, what it is that has been working for you, what hasn't, and then you might find your own little marketing system in the mix, and that's fine too. So I'm going to go through mine, which I've been using for almost 5 years, and I'm very much driven on the end goal. Okay, so I want to add value, I want to serve, but I do have an end goal in mind. Okay, so with any marketing campaign, I start with the end goal, and the end goal could be either sales, it could be leads, or it could be brand awareness. Now, for the 3 of you on the call and myself, I would assume, and this is, don't take this the wrong way, I would assume it's not really brand awareness that you're currently after. You're after either leads or sales. I could be wrong, but I'm just going to say that out there in case, you were thinking you want to spend quite a bit of money on brand awareness. I would strongly recommend that you get those leads and convert them into sales, and then use all that to build brand awareness once you've mastered the other 2 processes of marketing, if that kind of makes sense. So I personally don't actually spend money on brand awareness campaigns. I don't, because Platform for Success has been around for just short of 5 years. People know Samantha Jansen, but again, I wouldn't invest money on a brand awareness campaign. I rather invest my marketing budget on generating leads and converting those leads into sales. So with the end goal, it's 2 parts. Let's take our brand awareness out and let's look at leads and sales. Now, leads and sales, as much as they sound almost the same thing, because when you get a lead, you want to get them onto the other side so you can convert them into sales. Yes. But with specific marketing campaigns, your actual end goal might be to convert them straight away, as opposed to generating a lead. So when you are planning a marketing campaign, it is absolutely crucial to know what it is that you want at the end of the marketing campaign. Okay, yes, we know you want sales, but in terms of the actual marketing campaign, are you after them to buy tickets to an event, to attend a workshop, to attend a seminar, attend an event of some sort, an exhibition, whatever that might be? If that is what you're trying to do with the marketing campaign, then obviously you're looking for sales. You're not looking for leads there. But if you're going to give them a free download, a voucher to use, or a free session of some sort, then that is to generate leads. So they're 2 different things, because if they get a voucher, a free session or something like that, or a downloadable video series, you have to then wear your sales hat on and take them through your sales process, because they're not going through a marketing campaign to convert and pay you straight away. So it is 2 parts. Even though the end goal on the back end of your business model is sales, the front end of the marketing campaign could be either leads or sales. Okay, from there I look at, so let's say I'm running, for example, I'm running having a book launch as a part of one of my little projects for 2017 in July, and the marketing campaign will actually start in May, because I need to raise awareness considering the size of the project. So I've already started mapping out little chunks of this project that is going to come to light in July. And you think, wow, that's a while away, Samantha. Why? Because one, I want to have over 70 people physically at the book launch event, so I can add value to the audience. Okay, but from a marketing perspective, to get that result and to build up enough engagement and nurture and somewhat of a little bit of a hype, I need to start early so I can prep. Okay, so you start with the end goal, and then after you look at the key benefits for the audience. So all 3 of you are in service-based businesses, okay? And with service-based businesses, it's very much about adding value, okay? And when I talk about adding value, it's not just saying I'll throw in a bonus here or I'll throw in a bonus there. No, no, no. How are you adding so much value that when the client converts and they pay you, cash, credit card, whatever the transaction might be, in their mind, they're going, wow, let's say they paid, I don't know, $200. But they feel like they got so much more than $200 if they were to look at what they got and compare it to something else that might be out in the marketplace. Now, I know you have your own unique selling proposition, your own unique offerings and all that. Great. But to the consumer, generally, take yourself out of business space. You know, if you go to a restaurant, let's say you and your family went out to a restaurant and you ordered a meal for $35 and it was good, but it wasn't great. You would compare it to something somewhat similar that you paid $25 maybe a month. So, was that a question? No. Okay.
Can someone, whoever's making the hissing noise, can they mute, please?
Okay, cool. Hey, Tara. Good to have you on the call. So with the audience, it is very much understanding how are you going to add value. The value factor is crucial. Okay, it is not just I'm going to throw this in, I'm going to throw that in. Think about it strategically. Every single one of you on the call are offering services, so it is absolutely crucial for you to position yourself, not where obviously it's impacting your bottom line. That's not what I'm implying here. I'm talking about adding value from resources and value factors that you already have. Okay, for example, with certain things that I do, with certain conversions that I have, they will get a pack of resources that are probably valued at about just short of $100. They'll get one of the anthologies, they'll get Audacious and Fabulous the journal, they'll get this book of templates, and then they'll get, I can't remember the other thing, and another book, and it's packaged, it's posted to them with a beautiful little note, and that goes out to them before even they jump on the call with me for the very first time. So, and they know that if they were to look and to buy that individually, they'll be paying $35 for one, $25 for the other, and then $50 and I think $49 for the other. So in their mind, for what they have paid, they've already got this that is over $100, which is awesome that they've just got it. So the value factor is there. Now for me, the cost of outgoing is very minimal because one, I've printed them in bulk. Two, postage is costing me, I think it was like $9 or $10 to post that whole thing. So overall, it's not impacting my bottom line, but it's adding value to the consumer. So you're looking at how you can add value factors that are not going to impact your bottom line too much. So give them resources you already have. If you are going to think about creating added bonuses, resources, books, downloadables, and series just to add value, then suddenly it's taking a peel back because you're spending time. You're going to spend on editing and other little bits and pieces. So look at the resources you currently have, and whether you've been in business a year or a little bit less or even 5-6 years, there's always things that you can pull out of a program, out of a series that you've done and package it up. It's all about effectively packaging it up, bundling it up and going, when you do this session with me, I also give you access to this, 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 and this. So you're being strategic. And how is that then going to benefit your audience? One, they're going to think, wow, she's adding so much value. Two, they have other resources to work on while they're working with you. So it's not just if you were selling your time for money kind of consultation, whether that's, one-on-one or even in a group. Let's say if this was a training of some sort where people had bought in, how is that positioning in terms of value factor and benefiting them? So you're giving them almost like, it's like, I'm a bit of a food lover. For those of you that are on the call that don't know about me, I love food. So when I picture it, it's like I go into a restaurant going, yeah, I'm going to have a main meal. But then I get there and they say, oh, today's special on a Thursday, when you buy a main, you get a soft drink of your choice and dessert for free. And I'm going, awesome, winning. I'm going to Facebook that. I'm going to share it. I'm going to tell my friends about it. So the concept for them, that dessert that is on their menu for, let's say, $13 is actually, costing them probably $3-4. And the drink, the Sprite or the lemonade, that they sell for $3 is probably costing them 50 cents. So their bottom line is not impacted, but the fact that I'm talking about it and then I'm going to bring more people is suddenly going to have more traffic coming through. And that's the same system that places like McDonald's, Hungry Jack's, KFC use when they upsell you going, would you like to upsize that for 50 cents? Kind of, that's the same psychology that is used. So key benefits to your audience is that downloadable resources, video series, webinars, workshops. Okay, and I'm giving you a little bit of indicators at the bottom on the screen that you can see. Now, so you have your end goal, and then you identify what sort of added values and key benefits that the audience is going to receive, and then you start mapping that out. Okay, so I'm going to sell this service, and I'm going to give them A, B, C, D. Again, make sure A, B, C, and D, and E, and F, and whatever you're going to add is not costing your bottom line too much, because then that's just a lost cause kind of thing. Okay, so you use resources that you currently have to push this. And also something, I remember, I think it was a few weeks ago, I was chatting to somebody, and she said, oh, 2 of my marketing campaigns didn't work. And I said, oh, do you know why it didn't work? She goes, oh, no, I actually don't. I said, have you thought about doing the same concept, giving it a new name and a new image? Because sometimes people will assume what it is. And then they're like, oh, no, I'm not really attracted to that. But yeah, I'll wait, something else might come along. You rename it, the delivery is still the same. You're still giving them the same information, because remember, the consumer will buy what they want. I personally buy what I want. When I go to the shops, I want something I want to buy. I might not, in things that are not my skill set and my expertise, I don't know. I'm in unknown territory, so I want to buy what I want. But if you are delivering a service to what I need, you need to shape it to look like what I want, because I will buy what I want, not what I need. So you need to think about marketing from a place of, yeah, well, they need this. They need the iPhone, but they're talking about they need a device that does this, this, and this. Well, great, the iPhone does that. But for now, I'm going to talk about what it is that they want, and sell them what they want, and then deliver them what they need. Okay, that's got to be in there in your marketing campaign. When you're mapping out the whole process, that's how it needs to come together. Okay. From there, we look at content, images, and call to action. Now, a call to action, I will touch on that, but content and images are crucial. So you have 2 approaches, and I use 2, and I'm happy to let you know that I had a few marketing campaigns on Facebook that when I used my personal image on the actual ad, it didn't work. And people go, I can't believe you actually said that out loud. I go, well, it's the truth. My personal image on the Facebook ad as a part of the ad campaign didn't work. I probably ran it for about 3 weeks with I think $10 to about $12 per day. It didn't work. It just didn't work. People didn't engage. And it was targeted at women. So it was not like, it was like, oh, okay, how's this going to work? I ran the same copy, so the same content, same call to action, with a woman on a laptop pulling her hair out. And let's just say there was, I think, about 40 leads that I generated. About 38 or 39 leads in just over a 3-week period with the same amount of money, same target group. There was about a week and a bit of a break, so that my campaign didn't work. Then I pulled it down, got, okay, let's revisit it. Let's change the image, run the same copy, test it out again, and I got the result I wanted. So it is important to have a test and measure system in place. And look, people go to me, oh, but that's a bit weird, they didn't like, and I go, well, the copy obviously didn't resonate with them seeing my face. Like, it made no sense, obviously, to them, because none of them took action. But that same audience took action when they saw a woman on a laptop pulling her hair out, and that kind of resonated with them. For whatever reason, that worked better than my face. And it's not personal, it's business. So that's cool too. But that was a learning experience, because depending on what kind of campaigns, now I kind of always look at it. Do I want to use my face? Maybe my image says, get to know your host or your presenter on the landing page, as opposed to on the actual Facebook image. So these are things for you to consider, but also start mapping out the whole process on like an A4. So I don't know whether you can see, but let's say you had a notepad like this. You'd start mapping out image 1, 2, and 3, content 1, 2, and 3, and then call to action might be watch the video or download this or whatever it is. Now you've got 3 sets, and then you start essentially mixing and matching, so you'd potentially end up with 9 campaigns, if that makes sense. Because let me just draw it out for you. So you've got A, B, and C, and then they're all going with A, B, B, C, let's see. So I don't know if you can see, but let's say you had A, B, and C as images. So A went with AAA as the copy, and then B went with that. But then what you'd swap them around where A would still stand with copy BBB and copy CCC. Because
Can you link them? We can see it better.
can you see it now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, cool. So the key point is for you to not just have one campaign. Depending on how you want to market it and how you want to place it, you would have anywhere between 3 to 9 campaigns. Now, you don't need to start off with 9. That is not what I'm saying to you here. Currently, when I run campaigns, I have anywhere between 6 to about 9 happening at the one time for about 2.5 weeks. That's many. But if you are just starting out on Facebook, and I mean just starting out, and your budget's about $5 to $10 a day, and you want to only test it for 2 weeks, start with 3. Okay, so same audience. Your audience is staying the same. Okay, so you might say, let's just plan this out here, because we're talking about content, images, and call to action. Let's say you're targeting, just for talk's sake and the example, women 30 to 45. Great. So all 3 campaigns are going to have women 30 to 45. They're all going to be Narre Warren, Cranbourne, Berry, Hampton Park, Harkaway, Hallam. Let's just play around with the suburbs in that radius, okay? And then if you know a little bit the back end of Facebook, you will bring it down to a 10-mile radius as opposed to the default, which is 25 miles on Facebook. Facebook works in miles, given that it was built on an American platform. Sometimes you can change it to kilometers depending on your settings. Sometimes you can't. I bring it down always to 10 miles because it's just short of about 15 Ks, okay? That's just me personally what I do, just to bring it all tied in nice and tight, because I like to keep my marketing campaigns tight so I can watch engagement and have a level of control as opposed to spreading myself out too thin. That's me. Again, you've got to find what works for you and your audience, okay? So with what I do is obviously business services. They don't need to be locally, but when I run local workshops and I want to engage them, I engage them in tight groups around radiuses. If I'm running a workshop in Narre Warren, I will not target somebody in St. Kilda. I will kind of cut the border probably just beyond Dandenong and just out of Sandhurst on the other side, and probably Pakenham. It's a bit more, probably going about 25 Ks that way, but with Pakenham, they actually come to Narre Warren, so I've tested it out. So I kind of know it enough to stretch it on one side a little bit longer, okay? From there, then you start to look at, for those of you that are considering Facebook ads, and because I know Facebook and LinkedIn really well, with Facebook, you can select behaviors, titles, and what's the other one? And likes and interests. So there are 3 different components. So for example, let's look at how I would look like on Facebook. If any of your businesses wanted to target me, I actually personally am very cautious on what pages I like, because I know that Facebook tracks every move. Every single one of you, whether you are an active engager on Facebook, you are tracked, and they know what you like, what your lifestyle is like, and they have all this. It's like, you know, in Facebook's filing system, you probably consist of about 50 A4 pages with a big file, like a Tara file, a Tina file, an Ingrid file, a Carolyn file. You know, you're probably all there just like that with all your different likes, engagements, you know, where you're checking in. So they profiled you. So I'm actually cautious on when I like Facebook page, just because I don't want to fall into a category where I'm targeted and somebody's, you know, money is being spent and I'm never going to engage. I'm never going to convert because of whatever reason. So I'm cautious, and I tell people, don't just go in and like just to help somebody look like they've got a lot of likes, because if they decide to do paid advertising and they go show this campaign to everybody that has liked my page, and you've just liked it just to go, yeah, you've got likes, their campaign's not really working in their favor. So it is a bit of a tough conversation to have sometimes, but I actually am open to having that open, and I go, this is what I know. So unfortunately, no, I'm not going to like, because it's almost like a disservice to go and like somebody when I know I'm never going to convert, I'm never going to buy from that service. So that's just me. That's my 2 cents. Take it, leave it, up to you. Okay, so you look at your content, you look at your images, and your call to action. Now, given Facebook's current changes that are happening constantly, You might have a call to action like download, watch now, buy now. I would recommend the buy now to stay in the buy now zone if it's less than about current testing, less than $79. Anything more than $79, I would strongly recommend you get them onto a landing page, you get them to express interest, okay, and then you nurture them through an email marketing sequence, or you get them on the phone and you do your sales metrics on the phone, your sales calls, whatever you want to call it, do that on the phone. It's very hard, and I'm telling you this through absolute transparency. It is absolutely hard work and a high-end cost to convert for somebody to buy something over $79 on Facebook, especially if you're targeting an audience that has never transacted with you, they've never paid you, so you have no trust, no credibility. You might be fabulous at what you do, but they don't know that. They've not been following you long enough. You're almost like a cold audience. To you, they're cold, and vice versa. So I recommend keeping it under $79 if you're going to use the $79 buy now. Yes, Tara.
79, not 729. Is that correct?
Yes, $79. Yeah, just short of $80.
Thank you.
That's all right. So let's say, for example, where are we? We're in March. So next month, my marketing campaign will start for. I'm running a 2-day workshop in May in Doncaster, and it is over $150 to attend the 2-day event, okay? So I'm not going to run that Facebook ads to get people to buy. What is happening in the background is the ad will run. It will talk about what's going to, what you're going to learn in these 2 days, how you're going to be supported, da-da-da-da-da. It's going to a whole landing page. And the button, the call to action on the Facebook ad, and on the button, the Facebook ad is going to say learn more. They're going to go onto a landing page. On the landing page, it's going to say express interested to find out more, click here. As soon as they go click here, no sign up form, no nothing. It's just going to capture their full name, mobile, and email address. In that form, there is their mobile, because what do you think is going to happen? I've got somebody that will actually call them and go, for example, hey, you expressed interest in attending this 2-day event in Doncaster. Just want to chat about your business. Tell us where you're going. Yep, if you want to come along, here's the price. We take a deposit of $50, and then you can pay the remaining in 2 installments or whatever that might be, okay? So, and that's going to happen in a matter of 48 hours from whenever somebody opts in. So that's that campaign plan. So what I'm saying to you is that's why you need to plan this out, almost get yourself an A4 paper or even a little bit bigger, and start drawing them out like little flow charts. If you're somebody that's visual like myself, everything's flow charts for me. Start here. End goal, let's say 20 people at the workshop. Okay, if 20 people are to come on the workshop, I'll need to have at least at a bare minimum about 70 people opting in. And those 70 people, will be called or followed up or nurtured, and then from there I'll convert them. So as you can see, I need to get 70 leads if I'm to make 20 conversions, because that's my goal. My end goal was to get 70 to 80 leads, so the sales conversation can happen, so I can convert them, nurture them, and then they'll become paying clients and attend the event, which would have about 20 people. So your end goal needs to be crystal clear of what it is, what is the outcome, leads or sales. From there, we'll look at the delivery method. Now, in these 3 examples that we went through over the last, a half an hour or so, I've been talking very much about Facebook. Now, let's say you don't want to use Facebook. You want to use direct marketing. You are looking at, you're thinking, oh, maybe I should put it on the radio, or maybe I should, have a joint venture, or whatever it is that is playing on your mind in terms of marketing. Because you don't have to be on Facebook. I mean, I recommend you be on Facebook, because Facebook's the way to go. And if you're not on Facebook and not marketing your business on Facebook in the next 2 to 3 years, you're probably going to really fall behind, because that's where it's heading. Just social media in general. You've got to get on that social media bus, okay? But let's say you go, no, Samantha, I don't want to use Facebook. I don't want to use LinkedIn. Not a fan of the 2 platforms. I want to use something else. Okay, great. Let's say you say to me, well, I think my audience, I love Twitter, or I love Snapchat. Oh no, actually, I just want to do direct marketing, sort of the letters, that you get in your, through Australia Post or with the magazines, depending on how it's been placed by the company. Now, my question there to you is, do you know your audience well enough? Because this marketing system that you want to follow, that's your choice. Great, fantastic, you have the budget for it. But is the target audience going to respond to that form of marketing? So it really, as much as you're a business owner and you're passionate and you're awesome at what you do, it doesn't really matter whether you're comfortable on that platform or not. If your audience is there, that's where you need to be marketing, because that's where you're going to make the money. So whether you love Facebook or LinkedIn or the radio or the TV or whatever it is that you might be doing, and you're going, no, I'm not a kind of Facebook kind of person. Like, that's not for me. Great. Okay, but you're telling me you've described your audience and they're constantly on Facebook looking at their phone, scrolling constantly. Well, doesn't it make sense for you to learn and roll out a campaign on there, or outsource it? If you've absolutely shut down on the idea of Facebook, you can outsource it. There are people that set up campaigns and monitor it for roughly about $350 a month. They'll set it up, monitor it, give you a report, keep you engaged. So I personally know 2 people in Australia that manage a campaign for between $350 and $450 per month, and then you pay them on top of that whatever your ad spend is. So let's say you're spending $5 to $10 a day plus the $5 to $10 a day for the 2 weeks. So you don't necessarily have to spend $2,000 to $3,000 to have somebody working for you managing your ads. There is a cost-effective way, and it's rough mark for those of you that might be shopping around to outsource it because you might not want to do it. It's about the $350 mark. $350 and $450. I personally know 2 people. They're not in Melbourne, just so you know. They're one's in Townsville and I think the other one's in Brisbane, if I'm not mistaken. And I send them business all the time because somebody might come to one of my Facebook or LinkedIn workshops and go, okay, I understand how the back end works, but you know what? It's too techy. It's just too overwhelming. I don't want to do it. But I go, great. At least you understand how it works from the back end. So when you hire somebody and you pay somebody that $350 a month to manage your ads, plus the spending that you would have spent anyway if you did it, you're able to actually understand what it is that they've done for the $350 that they're invoicing. And generally, as a rough note, most of these people will ask you to sign up for probably about 3 months, give or take. And if you don't, they might say, okay, well, if it's a one-off, we're looking at a little bit more, an extra $100, an extra $120, because with anything, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, even if you did a spot on the radio, very rarely is it a one-off radio commercial. Generally, they try to put you on a retainer because the best results are when it's repeated over and over again because the audience has seen it. Okay, so really looking at how you're planning it and what the time frame is. So if your audience is on social media, unfortunately, you have got no option but to look at marketing on social media. If your audience is constantly driving and listening to radio, then maybe radio is your thing. If your audience is engaging to direct response or even the magazines, they're still picking up local magazines and flicking through and you think your ad's going to work, then you'll have to test it out. But my thing on it, and maybe I'm a little bit biased on the whole thing, direct marketing still has its place and it works. I know firsthand it works. It has generated lots of business to my clients. I even know a gentleman, he's actually not a client of mine. He and I have the same business mentor. He actually promotes his business solely through a TV SN, where you go in and do those TV ads and they play it out, through the marketing on those TV shows. So he flies up to Sydney every 4 months and he does a series of commercials and he sells those natural salt lamps, and that's his main form of marketing. So he has that as the main one and Facebook is his secondary, but that one is the one that generates, I think he said to me last time, about 65% of his business leads and sales comes from there, and then Facebook is an add-on. So it's not necessarily has to be Facebook, but I would strongly encourage you to have a strong Facebook, LinkedIn, depending on your audience, a profile there that is sort of tying in really well with the other marketing. And don't rely just on one. Like, as much as I run Facebook and I talk about Facebook and LinkedIn, I'm not just generating leads and making sales through Facebook. I have got multiple, it's not like all the eggs in one basket. I've got multiple streams that I'm marketing. So obviously an active networker, so that helps. I also do have 2 annual partnerships where I get clients that I referred as a part of an investment that I made with 2 organizations. One's Victorian-based, one is national-based, and I get leads fed through that. Okay, so there is other things that you can do. And if you are thinking, okay, well, I don't want to spend money on social media, I want to look at another avenue, look at joint ventures. Look at somebody that has the same audience and that is open to actually doing a joint venture with you, okay? And then time frame and cost. Let's look at time frame. So if you are just starting out your very first marketing campaign, from start to finish, you probably want to give yourself about 2.5 months, meaning the actual live campaign probably is going to run for about 2 to 3 weeks. But the lead up to that is where you have planning, mapping, and the execution comes into place. So depending on how much time you've got to actually delegate, sit down and plan, if you are going to say, no, I don't have that much time, I just want to get it done in one hit, I encourage you, okay, cool, do that. But you want to revisit it after a few nights, sort of, the whole thing, sleep on it, because you might think, okay, I spent 3 hours, I've mapped it out, it's flowing, okay, cool. You don't see any gaps, you don't see any holes in the whole process. You're like, yep, sweet, we're good to go. You sleep on it for 2 nights and you pick it up and you go, oh, actually, yeah, there's a bit of a gap there because I've not thought about the nurture sequence. How am I going to actually follow that through? Oh, yeah, okay, didn't think about that. So my suggestion to you is if you're going to sit down there and go, yep, I'm going to knuckle this out in one day, great, fantastic, do that. But as I said, come back to it in a few days, all right? So that is sort of the marketing campaign creating process where you go your end goal, your key benefits for the audience, content, images, and call to action. If it's a direct marketing letter that you're sending through like Australia Post or through a magazine or whatever, you want to get them going onto a landing page or actually calling your mobile or emailing you. If it's on Facebook, it might be the watch the video series, download, or learn more. So you have a few different options to play with in terms of your call to action and how you engage with them on which platform. And then you've got your time frame. In terms of actual cost, before we get into design, implement, execute, with cost, it's about you having an actual budget. So I can't tell you what's right or wrong. I personally, when I started Facebook ads, back 4 years, a little bit more than 4 years ago, I actually only could have afforded $5 a day. I had just quit a corporate job. My marketing budget was very limited and $5 is what I could have afforded. So I mixed $5 a day on Facebook ad and actually going out to networking events. Back then, networking events were about $15 a ticket. Now it's probably you're looking at about $25 to $35 to even $40 a ticket, depending on where you're networking. But it was a combination of that. So using, I still had a budget of about $150 to $200 to play with, and that was not every single month. It was strategically placed. Like there was no point with what I do. I don't market over Easter. Let's say in November, a cup, over the Melbourne Cup time and the whole of December and the first 3 weeks in January, I don't do any paid marketing at all, and that includes very limited networking. So my budget is actually chunked into February to November, but in different sort of pockets, kind of to suit where my highest lead gen comes in, together with networking and referrals as well. Okay, so let's look at design, implement, and execute. Is there any questions so far, like between Ingrid, Tina, Carolyn? Is there any questions? Let me just see. Let me look at the chat.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. You said run a campaign for 2 to 3 weeks.
Yes.
So that's the paid campaign. So you need to set that up before you go in. You specify on Facebook that it's going to run for X amount of time.
Yes. Yep.
And
Yep.
2 to 3 weeks is optimum.
Yep. All my campaigns on Facebook, currently that will go live in about just over 2 weeks, will run for 2 to 3 weeks. Never more. Sometimes it can be a little bit less if I find, as I said before, if it's not working, like the image or the content or something's not working, I will pull it down after 5 days, not before, because 5 days is sort of like the learning part. Is it working? Is there enough engagement? After 5 days, if it's not really reaching, there's not a lot of clicks, there's no conversion. So let's say the end goal was to get 50 leads, and after 5 days, I've had, let's say, 300 visits, but nobody has put their details in, then something's wrong. So there have been times where I've pulled it down and gone, what's not working? Let me retweak it. And sometimes it's been the image, sometimes it's just been, it was just too fiddly. There was too much content on there. So less is more. So I've tweaked it, looked at it again, and then made it live again. But essentially, as a general thing, it's about 2 to 3 weeks. And that's without public holidays in between. So I never run a campaign for what I do over a long weekend or a massive public holiday in Australia in general. So yeah. Sorry, say that again, Ingrid. I didn't hear you.
If it's not working and you're not getting any clicks or any feedback, you can actually just hold that ad and then rerun it again with the same different image.
Definitely. So you'll go into Facebook and you'll just change where you're actually monitoring the campaign. You can just either stop, pause, or delete. So I generally go pause, and then I will go into edit, and I will look at, is it a bit of the copy, is whatever it is that I'm tweaking. And there's been times where I've just gone, nah, the other 2 ads, let's say, because remember how I said to you, I'll have ad A, B, and C. Let's say B and C are working where I'm getting leads. They're not converting, but I'm getting leads. So then I'm kind of going, well, there's no point to keep this running. This is after 5 days, I've got 0 engagement where I've not generated any leads. Turn that off, let that go, let B and C keep running for the next, 8-9 days, and I'll just take the leads or take the sales from that, and that's it. So then I've obviously cut down that budget because the budget has been spread across the 3 as opposed to now they're working on 2. So yeah.
Sam, you were saying before that sometimes you run up to 3 ads at the same time under one campaign. Do you send them all to the same landing page, or do you have different pages you test?
It depends. Sometimes they all go to the same one. Sometimes they don't. So for example, last year there was one, the journal, the Audacious and Fabulous journal. There was 2 landing pages. One had a video playing where I was actually flicking through the journal, and one was just a copy of the journal. So when to converting and buying, some people went onto just the image of the journal, and it had 1 or 2 pictures of the inside. Others actually could have looked at the video. To be honest with you, the results converted better on the image. With the video, it didn't work too well. Look, I still made sales and I generated interest and all that, but the quality of the video was not that good because I actually recorded it. The lighting wasn't great, so I self-recorded like I do with most of my videos. But on looking back at the campaign, I realized, yeah, the lighting was not great, so they didn't see. They could. Visually, they were obviously really visual people. It wasn't as engaging as the sharp, bright image that was on the other landing page. So I'm assuming through the stats that the video was not strong enough because the copy on the 2 landing pages was exactly the same thing, same amount of scrolling. Everything was placed the same way. Instead of the image, there was the video. So my conclusion at the end of the campaign was, well, that's where it kind of fell a little bit. So I think the other one had probably about, I think, a 70% conversion as opposed to the video that I think only had about, 15 or 18% conversion. So that was a big difference. That obviously, as I said, I put it down to video. I could be wrong, but that was my take on it because the landing pages were the same and the Facebook app was the same, targeted at the same people as well. So yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so let's look at design, implement, and execute. So as I said to you first, when planning it, how it works is very much around the first phase. And this is probably the biggest, not time consuming. This is where, you've got to get creative. You've really got to think outside the block and get yourself thinking like your client and not like yourself. Yes, you're the business owner. Yes, you want to market to them. But if you are not feeling and seeing and hearing their problems, the copy is not going to represent that, and the copy needs to represent that. So in phase 1, which is the design phase, what is the end goal? Are you looking for leads? Are you looking for sales? Very clear. So get your A4 paper out and put that there. Okay, I'm looking for leads. Okay, great. So what are the key benefits for the audience? What is the lead magnet and how are you going to add value? Okay, the lead magnet is going to be where they're going to opt in and they're going to get a video series on how to do A, B, and C. Great. What else are you going to throw in the mix? Okay, for the first 10 people that opt in, the first 20 people that start watching, I'm going to send them 2 added worksheet or a little workbook when they sign up saying, "Hi Samantha, thank you for coming on board. I hope you found the first video interesting. The second one's going to hit your inbox on Monday or in 5 days. In the meantime, here's a bonus value add of this little workbook that I've created that my community has loved previously and had a lot of benefits from. I want to share it with you. Here's the book." Now, on me being on the receiving end, wow, I'm just watching this video series for free and that's awesome. I get this cool workbook. What's it all about? I want to suss it out. I might take some action. I might not. Irrespective of whether they take action, psychologically, you have given them value. So when they talk to somebody who is talking about something similar that they're going through and they have seek your help, they're going to, in conversation, just mention you. And going, "Oh yeah, I saw this ad and she was doing this and I got this workbook too," like da-da-da-da-da, and the conversation goes. So the more they're talking about you, your name is getting out there. Yes, you're probably not going to generate a lead, but it's organically happening where people are talking about you through the value added factor. From there, you're going to look at budget and time frame. And this is still designing. How much are you willing to spend to generate leads? So for me personally, as I said, when I first started, it was $5, and now the budget changes depending on the campaigns. Currently, I will spend up to probably about $30 to even $70 to acquire a paying client. This is not a lead, a paying client. The reason being I'm happy to spend up to $70 is because when they buy in, depending on what they're buying in, that is not even a cost factor. Okay, so let's say I go to 2 networking events, I might have spent $30 each, that's $60. From there might be another process that they go, they connect with me, they have a conversation, and they buy in. Overall, I might have spent a little bit even more than $70, okay, because I've had 4 conversations at the networking event and only 1 become a paid client. Okay, but the thing is they're not buying into a $70 product. They're buying into a service that is a long-term service. So $70 is okay. So you need to work out how much you're willing to spend to acquire the client, bearing in mind what is their lifetime spent with you. So clients that currently are with me have been with me for probably over 2 years. They'll come to a workshop, they'll come to another workshop, they'll be on an online, like I run Zoom sessions like this where it goes for 2-3 hours depending on what it is. There could be one-off, there could be reoccurring. So there's a combination of things that I do, and they could be in my funnel for 2 years, a little bit longer. The longest has actually been with me from the very beginning, and now she's a private client that actually go to her company once in 6 weeks, and I work with her on site. But when she first started, she was actually one of the first people that came to one of my workshops that I ran at the Mary Warren Library probably 4 years ago, like one of my very first workshops, and she sat with me there. And now she goes, "Oh my God, remember the time you used to run it at the library?" And I'm like, "Yeah, because I had to start somewhere. I couldn't afford to spend $200-300 on a venue, so the Mary Warren Library and all the local libraries, all the way up until probably Caulfield, was budget friendly and gave me cash flow." Okay, so I was very much aware of how much I was spending for venues. Like, don't spend on a venue if you don't have to. And like I said, I $49 event, and the venue, I think at the time the library was like $60. So 2 people bought a ticket. I was like, sweet, I'm breaking even. And then anything more than that was okay, on top line. But then I was conscious how much did the actual marketing campaign cost. If they were coming from networking, then I went to the networking event 3 times. That was $15 into 3, so $45 there for the venue. That in the early stages I couldn't take into account my time because I was just looking for sales. I was a startup business. I had to make sales to survive. So I didn't take that into the equation, my time, but now I do. So what I recommend to each and every one of you is work out your outgoing cost, but the time as well, depending on where you're at in business, that stage in business. Look at, are you able to account for 2 hours of your actual time to be inbuilt into the cost? If no, that's okay for now because, the budget's tight, okay? But are you covering your marketing and venue hire? If you are running events and that sort of thing, are you covering your venue hire? So budget and time frame, really, really important. And then also paying attention to the prep of the event in terms of, what you have to do before the event. And also before the campaign, because if you're planning 8 weeks before it actually goes live, or even a little bit before, there's a lot of prep work that you're doing. Like I'm currently planning a book launch in July, and I'm talking to venues. I'm going back and forward. So it might be, somebody hearing it, I'd be like, but Samantha, that's like a 10-minute call. You're just getting on the phone, talking to two people, sending them 2 dates and asking them for a proposal. Yeah, but that's my time. I could be at a networking event. I could be guest speaking. I could be doing something else. So I'm conscious and keeping track of all of that, because it's also almost like a learning experience for me as well. So being conscious about that, okay? So now you've got the design phase. You know your end goal, you know your budget, you know what you're going to give them. Fantastic. Phase 2 is creating and implementing. So you're looking at creating content, your landing pages, your social media, and the tech stuff. And this is where, I kid you not, I would say 60% of business owners, it all crumbles. The cookie crumbles here. The cookie dough happens in the design phase. Everyone's like, oh, my cookies are going to be awesome. I'm going to need it, and it's perfect. I've cut those cookies or whatever. And then it goes, oh, crap. Now, how am I going to place it all together? Oh, crap. This is just all falling apart. So that's why I said to you, the lead-up time where you backtrack is crucial, where you kind of can almost play together. Look at these images, image A, B, and C. I'm going to put this wording with this. I'm going to put this with this. And you're able to mix and match. And this playing, from when I first started, you could be playing for probably 5-6 hours, okay? And I am not kidding. The reason I say I'm not kidding is because I've been there, done that, and now I have enough copy to mix and match. But for the first 6 months, everything was brand new. I didn't have enough archive to mix and match. These days I can, so it's copy paste, check some things, and we're good to go. But if you're just starting out and you don't have a lot of landing pages, you don't have a lot of copy and content, images, all that sort of thing, give yourself 4 to 6 hours. And that's why I said you might in a day not have 4 to 6 hours. So this is why you might need a whole week to put it all together, and that's okay. But give yourself that time, because if you give yourself that time, the marketing campaign is going to work, because you've thought it out strategically based on your ideal client's emotions, as opposed to you going, oh crap, I'm just going to market this. Oh my God, I need to make some money. I'm going to market this. And you're kind of like, oh, I'm just going to put it out there and it's going to work. It won't. I can kid you not, it doesn't work. I have worked with people in product-based, service-based, you name it. It doesn't work unless it's planned. And that's why I said you give yourself the time, okay? So creating content, landing pages, social media, and the techie stuff. So landing pages and the techie stuff kind of go hand to hand. And I remember when I mentioned the word techie stuff, people said, what are you talking about techie stuff? So techie stuff is where I'm saying, for example, if you're telling people to download something from a landing page, and then you're going to give them something in return, you've got to find a system depending on what kind of softwares you're using, like MailChimp, GetResponse, Active Campaigns, whatever it is that you're using. So when they click to put their name and email address, either you get an email to your Gmail, your Outlook, Hotmail, whatever it is that you're using, you're going to get an email saying Samantha's opted in to attend that workshop. Okay, so then you need to either send me a physical email saying, hey Samantha, thank you for registering your interest. I'll have one of our sales representatives, or I will touch base with you in 24 hours. Fantastic. If you're not going to use that system and you're going to have an automated system like I do through GetResponse, so I use GetResponse along with lead pages. So my landing pages are built on lead pages, which is an annual, a monthly subscription. And GetResponse is a monthly subscription as well. GetResponse is another version up from MailChimp. Okay, so I used to be on MailChimp, but it didn't quite work because I get frustrated really easily, and I wanted something quick and fast and easy and not too techy for my brain. So GetResponse was the next best thing, and I've been with GetResponse probably about 3 years now. No problems, works really, really well, and yeah, I just love it. So the techie stuff is where you tell GetResponse and you link the landing page to kind of talk to each other, and that's where it can be a bit tricky. And if you are struggling with that and you're going, oh my God, I can't make it work, I actually can't help you because I don't actually do that. But what I would suggest to you, if your budget is tight, you can get people on a site called Fiverr, so Fiverr.com. They're an American site. You go in there and you find somebody that can do the work for you, and it's all categorized, and you're looking to spend less than $50, 50 Australian dollars, I can guarantee. So all their pricing is in US dollars, and you can find people from graphic designer to websites to record a video to talk on a video. name it, they do it. And they'll be able to do it for less than $50 to get your two softwares talking to each other and making everything run smoothly. So, if that is something that, you think, okay, I need to jazz it up. I don't have the technical skills. I'm really struggling. Get on there and get somebody on Fiverr to do it. As I said, less than $50. I currently use them for the little bits and pieces of video editing and all that, and it's less than $20. So it's a really good system, and somebody is making money and growing a little small business somewhere outside Australia. So you're supporting another small business, okay? From there, so let's say you've got all your techie stuff, your landing page is working, or your direct marketing. If you're going to, use Australia Post and send out that you've got all that structured, fantastic. From there, you are going to launch your campaign. You have to turn that button on to say live campaign. You've got to post up those letters or submit that design to the local newspaper or to the magazine or whatever it is that you're doing. It needs to go live. Now, once it goes live, this is where another thing can sort of, people don't think, but kind of need to be aware. If you are doing, for example, direct marketing, meaning you are doing it through letters, radio, newspaper, magazine, if you're doing any of that sort of thing, it is really, really important when you have conversations with people that inquire about what it is that you do. So let's say, for example, I get an inquiry that says, comes to my email, okay, they've not gone onto any website or anything, I've got an email, Samantha@platformforsuccess.com that says Facebook workshop, let's just pretend. And it says, hey Samantha, really interested to know about your Facebook upcoming workshop. I saw it, but I didn't have all the details. Can you touch base with me? Now, when I touch base with them, if you've got multiple marketing campaigns running through, let's say, Yellow Pages, Australia Post doing this direct marketing for you, and Facebook, it is absolutely crucial when you get on the phone, you say like, let's say I pretend I was having a conversation with Tara. I would say, hey, Tara, we'll have the conversation. And lastly, I will say to Tara, just quickly, where did you see the Facebook workshop? I'm just trying to find out how you found me. And then Tara would say, oh, actually, my friend is friends with you and she saw it on Facebook, and I noticed she was going to the event, so that's how I found about it. Oh, okay. So Tara didn't find me on Facebook ads. Tara didn't find me in the magazine. Tara didn't find the direct response. Tara found me because a friend said she was going to my event on Facebook. So currently, Tara has become, let's say, Tara booked a ticket, she's come to the workshop. She converted organically as a result of an organic activity as opposed to all my other paid marketing services. So it's really, really important for you if you're having multiple marketing campaigns or you've invested over 3 months or 6 months to different subscriptions, you are asking the question, how did you find me? Or where did you see this? So you're able to gauge what's working. Not last week, I think the week before, I sat with a gentleman before I went to Sydney. We were talking about his ads, and he actually has 2 ads running in 2 local newspapers, like a catalogs thing. And I said to him, so how much business do you get out of it? Because he goes, oh, look, that cost me just short of $3,000 for the year. And I went, okay, you said to me you didn't want to spend on Facebook because your budget was high, but you've spent $3,000 in this magazine. He goes, yeah. They're highly recommended. They've got like a massive reach. I said, yeah, I get that they've got a massive reach, but how many people actually clicking the magazine, in their busy schedule? He goes, no, I'm pretty sure they do, because it's a reputable magazine. And I said, oh, okay, cool. I said, anyway, that's fine. If that's your marketing system, that's cool. Let's look at, I'm here to look at other aspects of how you can improve your marketing. So let's, I'm here for the day. I'm hanging out with you for the whole day. So let's look at everything. So we went through his budgeting. And one of the things I said to him is, I said, well, I'm not an accountant or a finance person, but let's bring up your expenses in marketing to look at your ratio of sales conversion. And then I said to him, you've been doing this. He'd been doing that for just short of 2 years. He was a local business in the city of Casey, for those of you that are in and around the city of Casey. And he goes, I said, so how many leads have you got? He goes, what do you mean? I said, so you've been running this ad as a subscription. You said it's the way you want to market your business. So how many leads have you got? He goes, I don't know. It must be working because I get work. And I said, okay, but you have no stats. You're spending $3,000, but you don't know whether you have got business out of this $3,000. Yet you don't want to try for about $400 a Facebook campaign because you don't believe your audience is not is on there. But I said, we've just mapped out and this age group is on there. They're shopping daily. And he goes, oh, okay. And that, for a good half an hour, he just sat there when he went, oh, shit, okay. You know, this is the reality of it. And I said to him, and this is why I said to you, we need to spend a bit of time together because we can map it all out. And as a result, he's, I think it's expiring in May, I think. So he's not going to renew, but he was locked in and his money is gone. He doesn't know. So now what we've done is the plan we put in place was we looked at putting in a system whenever the people inquire to purchase what it is that he sells, the receptionist is just going to ask, how did you find us? So we can track from now up until his subscription finishes just to get some data from there. But he's got a Facebook campaign running now that will kick in, I think, next week or the week after, that will kick in terms of what he does. So what I'm trying to get at is, if you have multiple live campaigns happening, you need to be consciously aware of where the leads are coming from and where the attraction is, because you might think you actually need to spend money on Facebook, whereas really your clients are coming through referrals or word of mouth. So then maybe you need to be giving incentives to the people that are talking about you, and, you know, give vouchers, not just to your services, but it might be like a Coles My voucher, and say, hey, thank you so much. Over the last 3 months, you've sent me 3 clients. I just want to take the time to say thank you and give them a little, you know, Coles My, or movie tickets. Like at Christmas time, to 3 of my big sort of connections that I collaborated with, they all got gold class tickets for their whole family, because I know they love the movies. They've got young kids and they always, you know, like to do something that's a little bit special. So the 3 of them, because they've driven so much business for me, 3 gold class experiences for all 3. You know, that was my way of, with a thank you card over Christmas, saying thank you, because I generated a lot of leads, and in return there are people that do the same for me. So you don't necessarily have to plug your business when you're saying thank you, but you could give them something that fits into their lifestyle. All right, that being said, that kind of wraps it up. Now, given we're 2 minutes over, not bad considering I love to talk. Any of you have questions? Ingrid and Carolyn, I know there's mic and limited issues. I'm going to probably stop the screen. But did you have any questions, Tina, Tara, any questions that you want me to answer, or are you happy to go, no, we're all good, you know, what it is? Let's look at the question.
All good.
All good, Tina?
All good, yep. Thank you.
Okay. Ingrid, are you all good?
Yeah, all good.
All good. Tara?
Oh, good, thank you.
Okay, cool. And Carolyn, I'll wait for you to message me if you have any questions. But in the meantime, if anything pops up, let me know. You know, you've got me on Facebook chat, so, you know, post it in the group or just personal message me with any questions or any support like that. And we're back next Thursday. So I'm doing this all throughout March, every Thursday. The times might vary a little bit between 12 and 12:30 depending on what I've got on, but yeah, I'm going to do this consistently. I can't remember what the topic is for next week, but you'll see it in the group shortly. All right, ladies, well, thank you for being on the call. Have an awesome day, and I will see you all soon.
Okay, thanks, Samantha.
Bye.